minutes till broadcast. Broadcast. One minute till broadcast. Seconds till broadcast. Five, four, three, two, one. Begin transmission.
Fighting for freedom every day.
Let me tell you, the response to the show has been absolutely amazing. People can't believe that a young conservative millennial continues to fight for constitutional principles, traditional values, and talks about issues that some are even afraid to talk about. But we do it because we understand the importance of this. And now we're seeing it absolutely blow up all across the nation.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
It is the Voice of Reason. Welcome in. Great to have you along today on a Wednesday. We are back really at our regular time if we're recording it, which many people have been jumping onto the live stream because they've been saying, Andy, where the heck are you? But don't worry, welcome in. We're broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here on our flagship radio station of the Big Talker KQAM in Wichita, Kansas, broadcasting all over radio, TV, all over the country, plus the live streaming we have on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter, Twitch. Although, I just tried to get on the Twitter and the Tweety, and I don't see the live video on there yet, so it may be lagging. So hang tight if you do watch it on there, and we'll take our guest in there as well in just a second, which I do want to get to her in a minute as well, because we have so much to get to and so much to talk about. So I am currently in the middle of a debate on social media, which we'll get into in just a second, because it drives me nuts. This conversation bothers me beyond belief. The fact that we don't understand some of the most basic, common sense, logical conversations of ideology and where different political ideologies actually stand. It drives me nuts. This is how we've brainwashed our children. So I guess we have to get into the conversation again, and they may even be listening to the program today. Who knows? I hope they are, because maybe they can learn something. I want to get into that. Plus, I don't know if you're aware or not, but there is now a boycott against Wendy's, because Wendy's, now you got to remember it's a franchise company, which means everyone's kind of run individually, but a Wendy's franchisee donated $400,000 to the Donald Trump campaign. So therefore, they are a piece of blankety-blank chain, and people now are being urged to boycott Wendy's. And this has been going on for a little bit, but the Wendy's chain is now being protested against because how dare they? Now, if you vote for if you vote for Joe Biden, or if you campaign for Biden, or if you campaign for Bernie Sanders, then you're a hero and you're part of the woke and you're open and woke. But if you don't, then you are the worst human being possible, because you are now supporting Donald Trump. And how dare you actually do that? So there you go. Do what you will with that, whether you support Wendy's or you don't support Wendy's. Every one of them is run by a different franchisee, so I'm not sure how that actually works with them. But, you know, people that just get angry and just want to protest. And we'll talk about some of that later. Plus, we have Mary Trump coming out and talking about her book on why Donald Trump is the evil, most horrible person on the face of the earth as well. And we'll have some fun there. But I want to get into our guest because it is, I don't know if you're aware or not, we've evolved throughout the times in America. We've evolved throughout our society to make ourselves better. We have a history. We've had mistakes. We've had issues. Of course, we've had issues. Every nation has had issues, but have we evolved and gotten to the point that we need to in society? So I want to talk for just a second about women's suffrage and the importance of some of the votes that go on with our 2020 election. And on the phone with us, I'm excited to have on. She is the Vice President of Moms for America. It's Debbie Kraulidis hanging out with us here. Debbie, how are you today?
I'm great. Hey, Andy. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me on.
It is great to have you on. Let's talk first off a little bit about history. We have come a really long way in America, and every vote counts. We want everybody to get out to vote, and the woman vote is extremely important. And I know it's hard for moms to go out and vote, which you being with Moms for America, I want to talk about that in a second. But real quickly, talk about where we've come from, women's suffrage, and how we've gotten to the point now where women can go out and vote. What a crazy concept.
Yes. I mean, like you're talking about right now, society, our situation right now is just so absolutely crazy. I mean, things have just blown up. People just are confused. People don't know our history. People don't know where we're coming or going. This is why shows like yours are so important. Amazing. Thank you for all you're doing. Getting the word out. This is fantastic. But yeah, I mean, women fought so long and hard for the right to vote, over a century of protesting. Mm-hmm. Now we're celebrating it, right? This August, it'll be the 100th anniversary. We, as Moms for America, we're just saying we fought so hard for the right to vote. Moms, why aren't we voting now?
Yeah.
We can't take this for granted. I mean, this is so important. Literally, our future is hanging in the wind for our kids and for generations to come. So the vote is so important. I've got a picture here of a poster that was from the late 1800s, and it's the sketch of a mom holding a baby, an infant, and it says, "Women bring all voters into the world. Let women vote." That's true, right?
Yeah.
We bring the next generations in. You know, we have a powerful role as women. We should be voting, not only back then, but now.
No, that's very true. I mean, it is extremely important to get out. Now, let's talk about some of the agenda items, the importance. I mean, moms obviously do the hefty lifting. I got to admit, I mean, I'm a dad. We have a 6-year-old daughter, but my wife does kind of the heavy lifting when it comes to our daughter and takes care of a lot of her education, takes her out grocery shopping every day. She's with her the majority of the day. So right. The priorities of safety, security, independence, the fact that you can maybe protect yourself if you get into the Second Amendment issue, or the proper education, if we're talking about public education. Are these the issues that many moms and many women like to focus on when they go to the voting booth? Or, I mean, what are some of the big issues that really women like to talk about?
Well, we've interviewed thousands upon thousands of moms. We just did a whole interview recently here in Chicago with moms. Moms are concerned about their kids' education. They're concerned about comprehensive sex education, safe communities, right? They want school choice. They want to either be able to pick the schools that their kids are going to, be involved in the curriculum. They want to homeschool. They're concerned about the economy. Our family. What does that mean to our family?
The family values. That's a huge thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And are very concerned about their safety. And they want the right to conceal and carry. We're concerned about safe borders, the drugs, sex trafficking, cartels, the criminals that are coming across the border. We want religious freedom. If we're pro-life, we surely want to be fighting for that more. I mean, these are all issues that affect moms on every level. This is what we say to everybody, Andy. Everything is a mom issue, isn't it? Every single thing that affects our home and our community and our country is a mom issue. So we want to fight for those issues, whether it's traditional family values, whether it's the economy, whether it's taxes. Everything affects our home. It affects our children.
It's really crazy because when you hear the media, by the way, we're talking with Debbie Kraulidis, the Vice President for Moms for America. You can visit them online at momsforamerica.us. When you talk to the media, that's not what women are talking about. They are fearful of firearms because they don't want their children around them. They want to be the mothering, nurturing type, so they want individuals to come across the border, even if it's illegally, because they have that nurturing side. They don't mind that there's other issues. They don't mind about the spending at the federal level because they want the social programs to be able to properly take care of their children because it's all the emotional side of that. When you hear the media, when you hear Democrats, when you hear progressives talk, that's what they say are the big important issues for mothers because they just want to be taken care of that way. Is that really true?
Well, we know the media is liberal, right? So their messaging is constantly what they want to get out. And this is why Moms for America is such an important organization. I'm just give us a quick plug here. Conservative moms really don't have a place for their voice. The liberal media is not speaking for me. The mom is not speaking for me. And it's of other conservative moms here. I mean, the media can tell us all they want, but we know that we can't trust the media. I mean, they have their own agenda. I believe that moms are completely concerned about these type of issues. There's pro-life moms. There's moms that want religious freedom, safe borders. They want to know what curriculum is being taught in school. They want the right health care for their family. Moms want their kids to be safe and want their kids to have a future. We want to have a tomorrow. We want to have an America for them. I mean, without America, the freedoms that we have, our kids are going to, I don't even know what their future is.
It's troubling. It is. Let's talk about, for a mention, you talked about the family values and that being a big issue when it comes to women driving them to the voting booth, which is, I think you're right. I think it's absolutely huge. When it comes to maybe the feminist movement, the quote unquote, which I have a different definition of feminism. My wife is very strong, very independent, and I mean, she's very stern, and no one pushes her around, including me. I mean, yeah. And to me, that is feminism, is that you're very strong-willed, you're very independent, but at the same time, it's not the I can do everything, you can't watch me because, I'm just, it's a weird feminism movement. It's the progressive feminists, I guess, that really define and separate themselves there. But feminism itself is just being strong-willed and independent, which I think is great. But at the same time, family values is extremely important. Or is it what the progressive feminists say is that we don't need the man, we like the single-family household, we can take care of the child ourselves, we don't need a guy in our life, or we don't even want to have children at all because we want to be that career woman and to heck with the family because that's not important. I mean, is there a really divide going on among the woman voter when it comes to that issue?
I believe there is a divide, yes. We say that we're the woman. I have a hard time understanding the liberal progressive. I hate to judge because I really don't want to.
Sure.
All I know is that the women that I speak to, even if we don't agree on a lot of things, we really believe that the family unit is the most important structure on this, really the biggest gift that we have. Our family unit, raising, whatever, everybody has different situations. I understand that there's single moms. I understand that there's working moms. There's moms at home. There's moms at homeschool. That's what makes the world go round. But I believe that all of us, no matter where we are, we believe that the family is really a beautiful unit and that we should do all that we can to protect it and to nurture our children and to raise. We say that we're raising the next generation of patriots. That's what we need to be doing.
It's extremely important. I completely agree with you. We're talking with Debbie Kraulidis, the Vice President for Moms for America. Real quickly, and we got a break in just about a minute or so here, but we can tease it going into the break. Let's talk about the makeup of the voting demographic in the country. I mean, women make up a huge, obviously, percentage of voters that drive themselves to the poll. Has there been an increase over the last few years of women actually turning out to vote? And is it difficult for moms to turn out to vote when they're at home doing the household thing, or whether they're at home or whether at work with the career, but maybe taking care of children or with their livelihood? Is it a struggle sometimes for women to get out and actually cast that ballot?
All right. That's what we're coming back with.
That's what we're coming back with. So hang tight. That's because there's a lot, I think, to get into that. So I want to talk about that and what we can do to be able to drive more women out to the polling and where the mindset is for many women in the country going into this election, especially because what we hear again from the media going after that women demographic is Trump is a sexist. He's a horrible person. He hates women, grab him by the what. That all is coming back out. And I think they're trying to go after that woman vote because remember, you got to be that single mom that's independent and we don't need the guy because they're just a bunch of jerks. And you automatically have that rape culture if you're a male that's attracted to a female. And that's apparently where we're at in society today. So we'll do that when we come back. When we come back also, I want to get your thoughts because we haven't had a chance to really chat with you on the social media stream, so you can leave a comment on what your question is. We'll get to that here in just a minute as well. It's momsforamerica.us. You can go and check them out. We have a lot to get to here on a few technical things going on the line on the internet here, so we'll kind of clean those up when we come back as well. It's the Voice of Reason. It's a Wednesday. Lots to get to. Stay here.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Hey, it's Andy Hoosier with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left seems to find new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back, and we can help with that. Visit our website at HoosierReason.com. There's some really great stuff for you. You can read the latest blog discussing topical issues and current events. Let us know your thoughts by filling out our monthly survey. Keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Listen to the podcast of your favorite guest or show, and check out our latest Voice of Reason product infomercials. Plus, you can find upcoming show schedules and guest lineups to plan your radio listening appropriately. And finally, make sure to become a Hoosier-holic by subscribing to the free newsletter. Stay up to date on the latest news of the show, fun facts of the month, and learn new ways to defend and preserve this great republic. It's all there at HoosierReason.com. Again, HoosierReason.com. Go check it out. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Hey, it's Andy Hoosier. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HoosierMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HoosierReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HoosierMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HoosierReason.com. Miss part of the show? Don't worry about it. There's plenty of ways to catch the program, and here's how you can do it. First, make sure to tune in every day right here on your favorite radio station. We're here for you. Second, subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite sites. YouTube and iTunes, Spotify and Google Play, TuneIn, Podbean, and more. Have the show automatically downloaded to your favorite device. Last, visit our website at HoosierReason.com. You can listen to the podcast, catch our special features, and more. It's the Voice of Reason on radio, TV, and online, helping you defend and preserve this great republic. Hey, it's Andy Hoosier with the Voice of Reason. The show's growing all the time, and as we talk about the big issues of the day, one of the big parts of the program is you. And I want you to join us on the program. Whether you agree, disagree, or just want to relieve some of that political frustration, we're here for you. No matter where you may be watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, go ahead and leave a comment on the live stream. Chat with other listeners and let me know your thoughts on the topic. Also chat with us on the Podbean chat room. Just go to our live stream of the show at podbean.com and chat with other listeners. You can also call into the program. Just download the Podbean app onto your smartphone, join the live stream, and call in through the app. This is your show, and we want to hear your thoughts. So go ahead and join us here on the Voice of Reason and the Hoosier Media Network. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with the Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hoosier-holic by going to HoosierReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hoosier Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HoosierReason.com. For a schedule of upcoming guests on the program, daily show topics, or to reach out to the Hoosier Media Network, visit us on the website at HoosierReason.com. Or for general inquiries, to be a guest on the program, or to have Andy a guest on your program, email us at HoosierMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Keep fighting for freedom with us every day right here on the Voice of Reason and the Hoosier Media Network. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Yeah, you are. Welcome back into the Voice of Reason. All right, we cleaned up a few things. We had some internet lagging going on, which was affecting not just the internet, but the streaming that we had going on. So things are back up and running. I love being the IT guy at the same time as doing a talk show. That's fun. But hey, we're back at it, ready to rock and roll. And oh, by the way, some other good news as well is that we've talked to another potential radio station looking at picking up the program. We're on 6-7 stations now. I don't remember. You can find us at HoosierReason.com. Find all the details there, and more coming here very soon. So we appreciate that as we continue to grow and continue to cram 10 pounds of reason into a 5-pound bag, trying to rebrand the millennial generation one radio listener at a time. Why? Because we can. On the line with us here for another segment, we have the Vice President of Moms for America, momsforamerica.us, and it's Debbie Kraulidis here on the line. And I kind of teed up a question for you, which I think is a big one. So go ahead and run with it. But as we talk about the women demographic voter going into the 2020 election, how important is the women demographic? How much of the voter rolls does it actually make up? And what kind of an impact could this have on the election this year?
Yes, we all hear about how important the female vote is, and it is. It's about 63%.
Wow.
Think about that. That's a high percentage. So women, and then we break it down to moms within that. They are the powerful block for this election. I mean, they will definitely swing this. They will be a force to be reckoned with. This is what we say too. If 1% of aren't voting right now, okay? Conservative women out there, you're not voting, you're not registered. You get registered and you vote on this election, you will change this election. There will be a shockwave across the nation, and we'll get conservative candidates elected. That's how important. Another percent.
Wow.
So, mom's got to be voting.
Mom's got to be voting.
Really mom's got to be voting. And I know that I'm probably preaching, we're all trying to folks here, but moms can affect moms. And I guess that's the thing that's so cool about moms, right? We're the ultimate networker. If we've got a good recipe, we'll share it. If we've got a good book, we'll share it. If we've got a good sale, we'll share it. If we've got a good information, right? We share.
Sure.
And that's what moms need to be doing. We need to be sharing the importance of voting. Our Mom Vote campaign, we will have a series of information that people can share in their center of influence, whether it's social media campaign that we're going to be doing. We're going to be providing information on issues and candidates on partisan voting guides on our website. We'll be discussing issues because I think once we start talking about it, like you and I, Andy, once you start talking about issues, moms start going, you know what? I really need to let my voice be heard on this.
Yeah.
If I don't share my voice on this, somebody else is sharing their voice on it. It could be completely the opposite of what we agree with. So we're going to be encouraging moms to get registered and vote. We have mom links groups all across the country as well where people can get involved. We're going to do a big Get Out the Vote campaign. We're going to have voter information and resources on our website. We're going to say, moms, share this. Moms, be the light. Challenge your neighbors. Talk to your brothers. Talk to your sisters. Talk to your people at the school. Whatever it is. You need to just start saying to people, hey, where's all this going? This election is going to be the battleground. It's either freedom or tyranny. What are we going to do? What are you going to do in your circle? That's what we need to do as moms. We need to say together, moms, please get registered and vote.
Yeah. No.
You did talk about one other thing, right? And that was why aren't moms voting?
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, hang on the line and let's do that when we come back. Can you stick over one more segment with us?
Oh, sure. I heard heard a bell. What does
Perfect.
that mean?
Well, the ding was you were spot on. I mean, you were absolutely right. I completely agree with what you have to say. But we're going into the break now, so let's hold you over for another segment because it's extremely important. And you're right. I would take it even a step further to where moms not only need to get out the vote and talk about it because you can spread messages very well because of the networking, but also you're getting involved. There are so many moms and business owners that are mothers that are running for office all over the country. So let's talk about that as well when we come back, plus everything that you guys have going on with Moms for America as well. It's the Voice of Reason, bottom of the hour break coming up. We have lots more to get to here on the show, plus a little re-education on some political ideologies we'll do here in a bit too.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Hey, it's Andy Hoosier. While you listen to the delightful broadcast of the Voice of Reason, don't forget to check us out and follow us on all of our social media sites. Whether you're using Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Minds.com, or Instagram, we're there for you. Find us at Hoosier Reason on any of your social media platforms. You'll see special commentary, links to the articles and news that we use on the show, and videos of the broadcast. Plus, you can directly send us a message on social media during the show to let me know your thoughts. Many already do, and it's a great chat room for all of our great listeners. And you can always sign up for the Patreon site to get exclusive content, maybe hear show products before we air them on the radio, and a lot more. And when you support us on Patreon, you also help the show be able to fight for conservative values each and every day. So it's a win-win. Just find us at Hoosier Reason on all of your social media platforms, or you can find a link to all of our social media sites on our website at HoosierReason.com. We know you're on social media already, so bring some reason into your day. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.
The Hoosier Media Network is way more than just the voice of reason. It's your source to find numerous different online talk shows, podcasts, TV, and radio programs, all in one simple online location for you. From political talk to health talk to whatever you may be interested in, we're here for you. And I tell you, it's growing every day. Catch Tracy Maxfield with her podcast, Engage, Educate, and Empower, discussing mental health issues in children and teenagers. From bullying, teenage suicide, addiction, ADHD, and so much more, learn from Tracy and her guests about symptoms, signs, and ways to talk to your children, plus so much more. Having battled depression, being the author of the internationally acclaimed book, Escaping the Rabbit Hole, and being a retired nurse, Tracy is kind of the go-to on the subject. Make sure to find her on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, along with her website at tracymaxfield.com. Also, make sure to tune into the weekly podcast, Jump, Pivot, and Roll with Shannon Stiles and Rachel Murphy. Taking that next big leap of faith is hard. Trying to write a book, maybe struggling with a relationship, looking to take that next big career step. What's stopping you? There's a lot of big questions there, and they're questions that Rachel and Shannon want to help with you each and every week. It's Jump, Pivot, and Roll on any of your favorite podcasting sites and on Facebook and YouTube. All of these shows and a heck of a lot more can be found on the Hoosier Media Network Facebook and YouTube channels. Make sure to follow and subscribe to check them out today. Follow all the shows, and if you have any inquiries, check us out at HoosierMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with the Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hoosierholic by going to HoosierReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hoosier Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HoosierReason.com. Oh, hi. You know, conservative messages now are more important than ever before. Election season, state legislative issues, and a rise in the radical left socialist progressive agenda. What we really need now more than ever before is knowledge and wisdom. That's where we come in. Hi, I'm Andy Hoosier with the Voice of Reason, and I'm your voice for reasonable talk, conservative commentary, great guests and entertainment on radio, TV, and the internet. It's time to bring some common sense back into the discussion. National issues, state legislative issues, no matter where you may be, upcoming elections, and a heck of a lot more, we can bring traditional values, constitutional principles, and local activism back. And here's what you can do. First, follow us on all the social media platforms at Hoosier Reason. You can watch the live stream of the show, leave comments, and even call into the program. Second, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on all of your audio devices, from iTunes and Spotify to Google Play and TuneIn. Make sure to subscribe to have every episode automatically downloaded so you don't miss a single episode. Third, make sure to visit our website at HoosierReason.com. You can catch our monthly blog talking about deeper discussions, see who's coming on the program, plus you can sign up for our free monthly newsletter to catch the latest on the show, monthly topics, upcoming interviews, and more. It's time to be that local activist again. That's what the Voice of Reason's all about. Why? Because that's kind of the reasonable thing to do. And it's time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason.
Hey, it's Andy Hoosier with the Voice of Reason. The show's growing all the time, and as we talk about the big issues of the day, one of the big parts of the program is you. And I want you to join us on the program. Whether you agree, disagree, or just want to relieve some of that political frustration, we're here for you. No matter where you may be watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, go ahead and leave a comment on the live stream. Chat with other listeners and let me know your thoughts on the topic. Also chat with us on the Podbean chat room. Just go to our live stream of the show at podbean.com and chat with other listeners. You can also call into the program. Just download the Podbean app onto your smartphone, join the live stream, and call in through the app. This is your show, and we want to hear your thoughts. So go ahead and join us here on the Voice of Reason and the Hoosier Media Network.
When Reason Meets Radio. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
You ever have one of those trolls on social media that just won't stop the conversation? They're like, I told you, when they're not even right, but they just don't stop. And then they post ridiculous things. All right, here's the big question. And please, if you're watching the social media, wherever you may be, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, doesn't matter. Although I still can't find the Twitter feed. It's weird. Like the Twitter won't show up. And then once it's done, it'll be like, you had 40 views. Like we have 2,600 followers, but yet we have 30 views on a feed that you can't even find at the time. So I don't know. I still think there's some shenanigans going on there, but nonetheless, all right, here's the question for you. And Debbie, you're going to have to answer this as well here for a second. Wikipedia, is that a legit source for a reference to prove a point or for research? Now, I'm 30, so I'm a millennial, but at the same time, when I was in college like 10 years ago, you weren't allowed to use Wikipedia because it was not a credible source, and anybody could go onto a Wikipedia page and edit the page, so therefore it wasn't credible. Yeah, you could manipulate. So he's posting Wikipedia pages to prove a point, and I'm trying to tell him that's not a credible source. You need to go to like Webster's Dictionary or something.
Here's what Google says. Wikipedia is not a reliable resource.
All right. Well, there you go.
There
you go. I guess, I don't know. But apparently that's what they do. And they've done this so many times. So the debate has been on whether fascism and Nazism is a right-wing ideology, which I still have a very hard time understanding because as conservatives who want limited government and small government and lack of government interference and free enterprise and no government education and limited regulation on firearms and less government interference over the means of distribution of goods, I'm curious on how a socialist fascist mentality that wants government to do all those things is a right-wing ideology. But they reference, well, Wikipedia says in the definition of Nazism that it's a far-right ideology. But if you look at Webster's Dictionary, then it doesn't say that. So I'm a little confused on how that actually works.
Wow, that's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question, isn't it? Now, here's the...
I can see why you're enthralled in this.
It's mind-numbing because it's so stupid, because if you actually research it a little bit, the term far right or right wing in the definition of fascism or Nazism, whichever one you look at, they didn't even include that into the definition of those into those fascism or Nazism until like 5 or 6 years ago. Before that, it was authoritarian government control over the private industry, which is by definition what progressives want today. So how do you try to consider that as a right-wing thing? But when you explain that to them, then you're just a dummy who just doesn't educate himself and needs to read apparently Wikipedia more. And I bang my head against the wall against these dumb conversations every day, and it drives me nuts.
Oh.
Anyways.
You and try to help someone figure it out, and then you're kind of
Yeah. You try and educate somebody, and then they just, how dare you educate them with real facts and common sense and reason. Anyways, we're talking with Debbie Kraulidis, the Vice President of Moms for America. And when we left, I wanted to say that as we talked about the women and the networking that you had, because you're right, it's always been tradition for women to, go and have the get together with the family and the friends, or do a book study club, or to go to the salon, or to do something. And you always, it's we always talk about the hens, blah, 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 talking and chattering about the gossip that goes on. And that's really how a lot of messages spread. But I would like to take it a step further. We see so many women now, and whether Donald Trump opened up the door for this or not, I don't know. But over the last couple of years, we've seen a massive amount of women, mothers, business owners, that say we not only want to chat about it and talk about it and get the word out, we want to run for office. We have what's her name? Lauren Boebert, the new congresswoman who, or not yet, but she just beat the Republican incumbent in Western Colorado that just got the nomination, who runs the Shooter's Grill out there. I mean, you have a few others that have run that are just the moms that want to do something. I think that now we're seeing a revolution of women. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I ran for trustee in my in my township.
Yeah.
Of course.
Exactly.
We need we need everybody running for everything. To Congress, and I give everybody kudos for the women that put their hat in. But yeah, I'm running. I'm an elected official, and I'm running for county board.
That's fantastic.
So, moms, we can do anything. We just bring our kids with us. We figure it out. Moms can multitask 100 things at one time. And so that's what we're going to do. We're gonna run. We're gonna help. We're gonna educate. We're gonna register. We're gonna vote. We're gonna love our family. We're gonna raise our kids. We can do it.
You can do it. You're right. Or sometimes you can just say, you know what, Dad, you're going to stay home with the kid once in a while, and I'm going to go do this, because that doesn't happen at all in the Hoosier family.
And you know what's so funny when you just said, Andy, about women, sharing? Women never run out of words, but the men, like my husband will say, I have used up all my words today. And I'm like, how does it even happen?
How does that happen?
How can you use up all your words? Because women, we don't, but we do. We love to share. We want to encourage. We want to empower. We want to make an impact, and and that's we want to encourage you in that.
I love it. Well, I can say that it is one thing that I have never said, being a talk show host. In fact, my wife says that I do talk a little bit too much. But, hey, sometimes when you're in talk radio, you have to have the gift of gab.
Yes, you never run out of words.
Never run out of words, at least on this side. Talk about Moms for America for a second. You mentioned some get out the vote and some messages that you guys are working on with your social media and your website at momsforamerica.us. But talk about some of the things you guys have been doing and what you plan on doing to help get out that vote message.
Well, that is our strategic grassroots, asking moms all across the country to vote. I think I did mention a little bit of it, but we've got a big social media campaign. We're doing videos for all of our social medias. I've interviewed many, many women. We've got videos coming out, things that we could share in our group. And like I said, we will have voter information. We'll get a Get Out the Vote campaign. We'll have resources. Voter guides on our website as well. We're going to have everything that we could provide to encourage and inspire women to vote and talk about issues. And again, if that's what it takes for us to say to, here's what moms say: I don't want to vote. I don't care. I don't have time. I got to take the kids. I got to do this. I hate politics. I'm so busy. Well, you can vote by mail now. You can vote early.
Yeah.
And moms just have to be engaged, and we just say to them, I get it. You may not think your vote counts, but it does. So we're just trying one by one, mom by mom, say, you are important, and your voice is no one can share your values except you, and that's your vote. So your vote is your voice.
Well, not only the vote, but the voice.
Let's let it be heard.
Yeah, let it be heard. And like you said, not only just the vote, but the voice itself, just to stand up, because right now the women mentality is what the media tries to hype up. So, of course, we have the harder job of standing up and making our voice 10 times louder so they half pay attention to us. But when
we have to be screaming almost. Huh?
Exactly. And when we hear the women that say we don't need the man, the progressive feminist, we like the single family household, we don't need the guy to be involved in it because they're just a bunch of crazy rapists or whatever. I mean, when we hear that,
come on.
it's sad and it's scary at the same time. but the women that actually do believe in traditional family values, that believe in raising the family, that actually do that. I mean, that's the kind of voice that needs to be spoken out right now.
That's it. That's what we're doing. And that's why Moms for America is just a great community. It's a place for conservative moms.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
You know, pretty and we're with you, Andy.
Hey,
we're all fighting the same fight.
We're all fighting the same fight. I love it. It's Debbie Kraulidis. It is Vice President for Moms for America. Again, momsforamerica.us. I really appreciate the time, and I appreciate you staying over a little bit later with us. Keep up the fight on your guys' end, and we're going to get you back on the show again here real soon.
All right, and moms, join us. Stop by our Facebook page. Tell your wife to come by and visit us as well, Andy.
Absolutely. She'll be joining that, and it's a great message to be able to get that woman vote out. And, Debbie, we appreciate that very much. All right, messages all over social media. We have it. We got a few minutes before we got to take a break, but it's weird. The phone was still kind of choppy on that one. I'm not sure why. So we're still working on it, but I was trying to adjust as we're going along, so bear with me on that one. But some great information, momsforamerica.us, and some really good information as we talk about getting the woman vote out and the progressive women that try and really abuse the system and try and take hold of what the messaging is for women. It's not what it's all about. It's not what it's all about. They can try and say it is, but it's really not at all in any way, shape, or form. Make sure to visit us at HoosierReason.com. Okay, I'm going to try to do this in about a minute and a half because I know people are like, Andy, you've talked about this many times and I don't really care. But I need to because it's bugging me. Of course, it doesn't stop. And I said, we're done. We're not conversing anymore. But this whole definition thing, this goes deeper. And this is exactly why women, along with men, along with children, along with anybody, need to pay attention. And we need a re-education. We just got the word down in the state of Kansas that school's going to be delayed to about a month in the state of Kansas. And I think that's almost a good thing with the public education system. If we're not teaching proper basic ideology, understanding, not Republican Democrat Party affiliation, but conservative, progressive, liberal, what the Constitution actually means, what fascism is, socialism, communism, when they don't realize that fascism, Nazism, communism, socialism are all the same flavors or different flavors of the same jelly beans. And you don't want those jelly beans at all because they're the ones that taste really bad, like the Harry Potter ones that have like the vomit flavored one or the snot flavored one. We don't like those, but that's the box that they're eating from, trying to distinguish the difference between them and trying to pawn off their sins, per se, on the left side of the aisle to the Republicans. Not necessarily Republicans, but conservatives. Conservatives are the Nazis. How so? Well, they believe in things and they wanted to be divisive. Who's divisive right now? Black Lives Matter, the radical group there, Antifa, that's trying to say they want to bash fash, but yet they want to hurt anybody that they oppose and disagree with. And by the way, they set their definition of what they think fascism actually is. I want to read to you just for a second what Nazism is, the definition: the body of a political and economic doctrine held and put into effect by the Nazis in Germany from 1933 to 1945, including the totalitarian principle of government. The totalitarian principle of government. Tell me, please, somebody explain to me anywhere how conservatives that want limited government are totalitarian regimes wanting big government. The basic fundamentals just aren't there, and people that believe it are completely ignorant. When you try and educate them, they don't want to hear it.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Hey, it's Andy Hoosier. While you listen to the delightful broadcast of the Voice of Reason, don't forget to check us out and follow us on all of our social media sites. Whether you're using Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Minds.com, or Instagram, we're there for you. Find us at Hoosier Reason on any of your social media platforms. You'll see special commentary, links to the articles and news that we use on the show, and videos of the broadcast. Plus, you can directly send us a message on social media during the show to let me know your thoughts. Many already do, and it's a great chat room for all of our great listeners. And you can always sign up for the Patreon site to get exclusive content, maybe hear show products before we air them on the radio, and a lot more. And when you support us on Patreon, you also help the show be able to fight for conservative values each and every day. So it's a win-win. Just find us at Hoosier Reason on all of your social media platforms, or you can find a link to all of our social media sites on our website at HoosierReason.com. We know you're on social media already, so bring some reason into your day. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Miss part of the show? Don't worry about it. There's plenty of ways to catch the program, and here's how you can do it. First, make sure to tune in every day right here on your favorite radio station.
We're here for you.
Second, subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite sites. YouTube and iTunes, Spotify and Google Play, TuneIn, Podbean, and more. Have the show automatically downloaded to your favorite device. Last, visit our website at HoosierReason.com. You can listen to the podcast, catch our special features, and more. It's the Voice of Reason on radio, TV, and online, helping you defend and preserve this great republic. Hey, it's Andy Hoosier. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HoosierMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HoosierReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HoosierMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HoosierReason.com.
Oh, hi. You know, conservative messages now are more important than ever before. Election season, state legislative issues, and a rise in the radical left socialist progressive agenda. What we really need now more than ever before is knowledge and wisdom. That's where we come in. Hi, I'm Andy Hoosier with the Voice of Reason, and I'm your voice for reasonable talk, conservative commentary, great guests and entertainment on radio, TV, and the internet. It's time to bring some common sense back into the discussion. National issues, state legislative issues, no matter where you may be, upcoming elections, and a heck of a lot more, we can bring traditional values, constitutional principles, and local activism back. And here's what you can do. First, follow us on all the social media platforms at Hoosier Reason. You can watch the live stream of the show, leave comments, and even call into the program. Second, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on all of your audio devices, from iTunes and Spotify to Google Play and TuneIn. Make sure to subscribe to have every episode automatically downloaded so you don't miss a single episode. Third, make sure to visit our website at HoosierReason.com. You can catch our monthly blog talking about deeper discussions, see who's coming on the program, plus you can sign up for our free monthly newsletter to catch the latest on the show, monthly topics, upcoming interviews, and more. It's time to be that local activist again. That's what the Voice of Reason's all about. Why? Because that's kind of the reasonable thing to do. And it's time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with the Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hoosierholic by going to HoosierReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hoosier Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HoosierReason.com. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the program today. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite podcasting sites and have the show automatically downloaded to your phone or computer every single day. Just find us on any podcasting site or go to HoosierReason.podbean.com. And be sure to check out our Patreon site, become the ultimate Hoosierholic, and help us fight for conservative values every day. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Now back to the national broadcast of the Voice of Reason.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Welcome back into the program. It is the Voice of Reason. It's a Wednesday. I'm Andy Hoosier. Great to have you today. I feel kind of off today. Does it sound off? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It was a little funky, I know, with the phone line being a little choppy today. I just feel a little off. Don't know what's going on. Maybe it's been a long day. Although I am going on about 2 hours of sleep today, so maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. I don't know, but welcome into the program. It's great to have you along today for the ride. Even though I'm going on 2 hours of sleep, I am pumped up and excited, and we try and bring the full intensity of the show each and every day, right? And I can't even,
That is the most metal thing I ever heard in my whole life.
Yeah, there it is. All right, so we got a few minutes left. Let's have a little fun, shall we? So Mary Trump talked about, of course, released her book going after Donald Trump and said that he cannot be president. This is what she had to say with George Stephanopoulos on ABC.
Utterly incapable of leading this country.
Utterly incapable of leading this country. He asked, what was one thing, if anybody could take one thing away from your book and what you're trying to get out with your message, what's one thing that everybody needs to know about Donald Trump? Utterly incapable. Let's hear that again, shall we?
He's utterly incapable of leading this country.
All right. I don't know if you're aware or not, but Donald Trump's been in office for the last 4 years, which means either he hasn't been running things or he's been running things and you disagree or agree or disagree. Utterly incapable of running the country. Now, that would be why he sells out stadiums of people at rallies, right? Because he's incapable of leading the country. This would be a good talking point if it was like 2016 and he'd never been in office and we don't know anything about him because he's a business guy, not a politician. And they tried to play that, but they played the wrong card then. They played the racism card. They played the sexism card. They played the whatever card against Donald Trump. And it failed, obviously. And they're still trying to play that. That's just now like a default, like, duh. Everybody knows that. But they try and build upon it now. So his aunt says, or his niece, I guess, because that would be her Uncle Donald, says that he is absolutely incapable of running the country. This, again, would be a story if it was 2016, not 4 years after he's already been in office and actually been running things, right?
He's utterly incapable of leading this country.
This is the ticket. This is the ticket. Now, they say Joe Biden's still ahead in the polls and that he's actually gaining. The latest story I saw was that he was actually widening his margin of support in the polls that are in swing states. So he's winning and Joe Biden's going to do this. These are the same polls that, by the way, said that Hillary Clinton was going to dominate him without question in the general election in 2016. So they're saying Joe Biden's up. He's obviously by default a racist, jerk, yada, 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 all the other names that they want to call him. And now his family members saying that he's deranged, that he's a narcissist, that he's a sociopath, and that he's all about the fame. He's all about the fortune. He's not about actually leading the country, although he's been doing it for the last 4 years. He's utterly incapable of leading this country. If this is the message that the Democrats have, they're showing their desperation just a little bit early, aren't they? Just a little bit early. I think it's hilarious. Keep saying it. Keep going with it. Run with the race card. Run with the sexism card. Run with the family members going after him because he's president of the United States. Imagine how this happened after he was a celebrity. Now, when he was a celebrity before he got into politics and he was doing The Apprentice and he was running Trump Tower and he was buying things, no one said anything. He was taking pictures with the black workers on the construction site, but all of a sudden now he's a racist. He was taking pictures with all the Hispanic guys on the construction sites because he hired them to do a job because he trusted them to do really good jobs. Now he's a racist against brown people. His family members loved him. The celebrities loved him. Now that he's a Republican and he's in the office, now he's the worst person in the world. And now his family's coming out as well. I really don't focus too much on like the personal things of Donald Trump because I'm not one that just talks about the tweet that he has for the day and all the attacks that he has and that berate on him every single day. I don't usually get into that, but there's a deeper message here because they're going to use that clip that I just played the last 3 times. They're going to use that clip on the campaign ads for Joe Biden saying, look, Mary Trump says that Donald Trump is actually incapable of leading this country. That's the message they're going to run. I guarantee you'll hear that clip on TV and radio ads running soon for Joe Biden in the general election because that's what they have. Now, again, that would work if it were 5 years from now or 5 years ago. Not now, 4 years into it administration. This is how desperate they are. It's crazy, man. But progressives are crazy, I guess. So what do you do? That does it for us today. Back at it tomorrow for a Thursday. Getting ready to wrap up a week of pre-Friday celebration. We have some more guests for you. We have the live streaming going for you. Podcast coming up in just a little bit. Make sure to download that as we have massive amounts of people that all of a sudden like came out of nowhere and started downloading the show. So hopefully this wasn't the first one they heard because if not, this is your show. It's the Voice of Reason. Everybody be your own Voice of Reason. Have a great Wednesday. Hey, Hey, it's Andy Hoosier with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left seems to find new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back, and we can help with that. Visit our website at HoosierReason.com. There's some really great stuff for you. You can read the latest blog discussing topical issues and current events. Let us know your thoughts by filling out our monthly survey. Keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Listen to the podcast of your favorite guest or show, and check out our latest Voice of Reason product infomercials. Plus, you can find upcoming show schedules and guest lineups to plan your radio listening appropriately. And finally, make sure to become a Hoosier-holic by subscribing to the free newsletter. Stay up to date on the latest news of the show, fun facts of the month, and learn new ways to defend and preserve this great republic. It's all there at HoosierReason.com. Again, HoosierReason.com. Go check it out. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.